Welcome back into the channel, and holy man, what a Thursday night football contest we just witnessed between two NFC West teams. Back-to-back weeks of back-to-back Thursday night football, really solid games from the NFC West. The San Francisco 49ers pick up the victory 26-23 over the Los Angeles Rams. The 49ers advance to 4-1, and the Los Angeles Rams fall to 3-2. What a fucking gutsy performance from the 49ers, man. To go out there as undermanned as they were. Bosa's out for the season. George Kittle's on the IR. Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, both out at receiver this week. Brock Purdy out at receiver this week against a Rams team that I think has real Super Bowl aspirations. To go out there and into LA, but it was a Niners home game, we all know this, and win that football game, holy cow, man. Top to bottom, super gutsy performance. I'd be remiss if I didn't start with talking about San Francisco's coaching. We're going to talk about some of the players that made some big plays for them too, but I think that this game, and really this season, I've kind of been hammering on this point, the 49ers coaching staff has done a really good job, man. We all know that Shanahan's going to do his thing, and him and Mac Jones seemingly fit hand in glove. You know, if you remember, Shanahan wanted Mac Jones when they drafted Trey Lance. If he had gotten his way, I'm kind of really interested to see where Mac Jones' career would have been at this point and just where the Niners would have been. That's some alternate timeline. But Shanahan's way to scheme up offense and scheme around talent with talent that he has is just really impressive to see. You know, you can question maybe if you're a Niners fan, and Niners fans that I know have done, his decision making in big games, when to go for it, when not to, timeout usage. But the one thing you can't question with Kyle Shanahan is his ability to scheme an offense. He is top tier in the NFL, and you could argue after what we saw tonight, the best offensive play caller, schemer in the NFL today. I also want to give Robert Saleh his flowers. Robert Saleh has come into San Francisco and completely shifted the defensive culture of this team. Nick Bosa is out. Short week, undermanned, easy opportunity to roll over. And this Niners defense showed up and showed the fuck out. They balled out. I mean, obviously you have Fred Warner in the middle, 12 tackles in this game. The guy was an absolute menace. Diamanor Lenore, 2 pass deflections. Guys that got to the quarterback. You only had the 1 sack, and it came from Bryce Huff on a really well-designed play, but you had 2 quarterback hits, some pressures, some hurries, and you just hung in there. You forced the fumble on Kyron at the goal line. You got the turnover. This defense that Robert Saleh has, they tackle better than last year's defense, and they just play with more effort, even though I would argue the talent, especially with the Bosa injury, it's probably worse for this team. But the coaching and culture that the 49ers have instilled in this team this year is something to take notice of. And I do believe in this primetime game, we got to see it firsthand. The Niners team is legit. They're going to make the playoffs. To me, they're a playoff lock at this point. With the schedule that they have, and now that they've won this game in division over the Rams, after winning a game in division over the Seahawks, and a game in division over the Cardinals. 3-0 in the division. And by the way, 3-0 on the road. Another sign of a well-coached, well-cultured team. Let's talk about the players. Shout out to Mac Jones. This man went through a fucking war tonight and absolutely played his heart out. You have to respect every single thing that Mac Jones gave on that football field. At one point, I'm not even kidding you, I thought he tore his Achilles on that sack. Then he's got a forearm injury that's getting massaged out. Then he can't walk at the end of their overtime drive that led to the field goal. He's like throwing up on his way out. I don't think Mac Jones could have played another snap. I think Mac Jones is like, thank God the Rams are going for this. I can't get back out there. He probably would have, because their options, Adrian Martinez, who I watched that Jets preseason game where he got a lot of action and he sucks. So Mac Jones, even at 40%, was probably better than what Martinez would have given you. But who knows? Maybe Shanahan could have made it work with him. Kendrick Bourne, the best game of his NFL career. 10 catches, 142 yards. when he was asked to step up, he did just that. He stepped up into the wide receiver one role and played excellently. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, 8 for 82 in a receiving touchdown, 57 on the ground. So we're looking at about 140 all-purpose yards there. The 49ers, man, they had players that absolutely 1,000% stepped up in this game and are owed their flowers. On the Rams side of the ball, the fourth down play call, I liked going for it in that spot. In a regular season game, I don't like playing for ties, particularly. I don't like being in a spot where you have star players and you don't let them try and pick up a yard there. The only thing I would disagree with, and I disagreed with it in the moment, maybe it's a little bit Monday morning quarterbacky, hindsight's 2020, but I think that ball's got to be in Stafford's hand there. Maybe a jet sweep to Puka, but Kyren with the fumbling issue already earlier in the night. Stafford's a top 10 player at the position. Puka's a top 5 guy at his position. I just don't like not having the option to let either one of those two dictate the outcome of any game. I get it. 4th and 1. You've been getting movement on the line most of the night, but the 49ers sold out for the run. They stopped it. Again, hindsight's 2020, but I think McVay has got to come up with a better play call there, personally. I think this loss really hurts them in terms of winning this division. Again, I think the Rams are a team that'll have real Super Bowl aspirations, and it's not just this loss specifically that I think will force them to do so from the wild card, but a Seahawks team that's really good in the NFC West. Arizona is always a tough out. This felt like a game you had to have. At home, short week, you get the Niners as banged up as they could possibly be with Jones in over Purdy, their top 2 receivers out, Kittle's on IR, Bosa's done for the year. You got injuries galore, and you're relatively healthy. This is a game where if you were going to be NFC West champions, when you factor in as well, just the Niners kind of schedule's easier this year, I felt like this was a game that they had to have. And now I'm beginning to think that the Rams playoff run is going to once again be on the road. It's something that they've done to themselves the last few years, and I think we're going to be there again. Anything can happen in these games on short weeks. I think that that's a big lesson that we've learned. They're all going to be competitive. They're all going to be kind of sloppy. Next week is Eagles-Giants. Again, probably going to be a more competitive game than people think. Probably going to be sloppy. That's what I've learned. I want to pull up the stats here and dive into those a little bit. Like I mentioned, man, Mac Jones threw 50 balls in this game, 2 touchdowns, no picks, sacked the one time, had a 100.9 passer rating. Can't ask for much more out of Mac Jones. McCaffrey touches the ball 30 times in this game for 140 yards and a touchdown. Kendrick Bourne really stepped up, 10 for 142. Guys over under on the night was 34.5. Absolutely killed that shit. Jake Tongues has come out and been pretty solid in George Kittle's absence, 7 for 41 and a touchdown. You look at the defense, Siegel 13 tackles, Warner 12 tackles, Stout 8 tackles, Lenore, like I mentioned, the 2 pass deflections. He was really solid in coverage. Bryce Huff got that sack this time. Who forced the fumble? I guess that's not a stat that I'm able to see on here. I want to say it was Alfred Collins, but I'm not entirely sure at the moment. So is what it is there, I suppose. Stafford as well lost a fumble. You look at Stafford's stats. He had 47 passes, another really solid passing day from Stafford overall, 389, 3 touchdowns, a 111 passer rating. Again, Kyren was getting 4.6 a carry, so part of me does understand thinking, hey, we could rush and just pick up this first down, but a talent like Stafford, a talent like Puka, I'm just not taking the ball out of his hands. Puka, again, another 10-catch game. He's just 10 catches a game, almost 100 yards a game, scores a touchdown in this one. If you have him in fantasy, he's just absolutely fucking killing it right now. Devontae Adams, 5 for 88. Tutu Atwell had another really big catch in this game. He seems to be like the clear third guy for them. 8 for 66 for Kyren Williams. And then the kind of tight end, like purgatory situation that they got going on. When you look at their defense, Landman with 14 tackles. Quentin Lake is quickly becoming one of my favorite players on this Rams defense. He had 11 tackles in this game, a pass deflection. Jared Verse had 5 quarterback hits. So even though Mac Jones was only sacked one time, 10 quarterback hits in this game. Don't let it fool you. He was getting his ass kicked all game long. And then when we dive into the team stats here, man, first downs, even 27 apiece. Total plays, though, the 49ers had to go a longer way for a shorter drink of water. 83-64. Again, that just speaks to me that this was more of a representation of Shanahan in the offense and Mac Jones executing it. You know, they're just limited in what they could do with a backup quarterback and backup receivers. More total yards for the Rams in this particular game. Passing and rushing was pretty similar. Penalties, 3 more penalties for the Niners, but basically the same amount of yards. Turnovers, man, 2 turnovers to 0. The Niners, Mac Jones, give him credit, man. He did not turn the ball over in this game, and he helped the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, there was overtime, but 14 additional minutes of possession. That will kill you almost every single time. So, in closing, my thoughts on this game are San Francisco's got a hell of a coaching staff, both now on the offense and defensive side of the ball. Couldn't say that last year. This is a gritty team. This is a team with heart. This is a team that's going to battle week after week. And it's a team that's going to be a playoff team. And I think they're going to host a playoff game. I think that they win this division. And they're going to be scary when they get healthy. I think without Bosa, they might have to trade for a pass rusher to generate a real pass rush, because that still wasn't there in this game, particularly all that much. They had to get that 1 sack on a real like heavy blitz play in which Bryce Huff kind of lined up at linebacker. But the 49ers are dangerous, man. They could beat anybody on any given day with the way they're playing football right now. We saw it tonight. And then the Rams, am I worried in the long term for Los Angeles? No, but I think losses like this hurt you in terms of division and in terms of your playoff path probably being on the road. It seems like the last few years, they're just not able to grab a hold of this NFC West when they should be able to. And they lose to a banged up 49ers team tonight. As always, if you love the NFL and you're not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, hit that button, hit the thumbs up button if you made it this far. It is good for the algorithm. I appreciate your guys' support, and I will catch you next time. Peace.